mate. Yeah, sorry for the late reply on this. Yeah, we don't have a crystal ball, but there's a lot of evidence to point that a lot of the market can go lower. There is some coins that are starting to shape up pretty well. You know, like HBAR to me looks really good. From memory anyway, HBAR. There's a few other coins that are starting to look good, but overall you have to say, you know, the market looks like it still has more downside. Like Bitcoin here, even this pattern here alone, it's not fantastic. You know, I do think we can bounce from here in the near term. Like I think the low is in, the near term low is in, I should say. Then later go lower. This looks to me like it's trying to be bullish and trying to get some sort of, you know, bounce back up here and then roll over again and go lower. This, you know, later when this develops more, you'll probably hear people saying that this is a head and shoulders. It's not developed yet, but you can see that there is this neckline here. So if we bounce up here and we start coming back down, people will start calling for this to be a neckline, a head and shoulders. For example, you know, it is given a target down there of 19,600. Will that happen? It's basically a target of this pivot here, this previous pivot. So time will tell if that will play out as a head and shoulders or not. At this point, it needs a little bit of work. I do think we're more bullish than bearish at the moment. I think this is a chance of bouncing and going higher. And obviously, if it's bouncing, you know, the altcoins and all should be okay for the meantime, and altcoins could continue to bounce a little bit. There's a few other things I just want to touch on there. There is no major volume here. Volume is just still declining here. You know, there's no capitulation volume like here, like here or here. You know, or here, I suppose, or even here. The volume is very low, and you know, there's no real capitulation at this point. The other thing is the funding. You can see here, if you look along, let me move that back in there. If you kind of look at the funding here, there's nothing that stands out. There's no large funding there. Like see here, this was the very bottom here before the big move. We didn't really, yeah. Oh, so actually we did. Look at this one. Even here, it does stand out. It doesn't quite stand out like a sore thumb, but you can see that there definitely is something standing out there that kind of gives an indication that there's something important happening here on this flush. So we didn't get that last week on that flush. The funding did not really increase too much, kind of indicating that there's a chance that we can still go lower, and it's not a real bottom, not a true bottom. You know, you got it here at the top of the market. Up there at the top of the market, you got large funding in the coronavirus crash, of course. You know, funding went crazy. You got it at the top up here. You can see it right up here. And you got pretty large funding here compared to relative larger than all of this, really. You know, so it did stand out. I know it was all larger funding kind of down there, but it did spike there as well. So at the meantime, there's no funding anomalies, if you want to call it that. But I do think that we're slightly bullish here that can bounce in the near term. Now, I don't think the bounce is going to be very big or anything. We are still red on the month. This is trying to flip positive here. The MACD there. I don't really use the MACD, but when trading with the day trading tool and stuff, it can come in handy. Just let's just see. Trending tool, not too many alerts here, but it did call a top recently. You know, right up here you can see, obviously, you know, it's been extremely choppy since, but that's really the only. Well, it flashed right down there the extremes on the very, very lows down here as well. That was important. And there was a bit of a buy there. And it didn't nail the exact low or anything here, but you know, if you had bought here and you did not. What was it drop? It's only 0.5% drop, but you know, you did get that bounce then 1.5% or whatever that is. So not too many alerts recently. A nice alert there as well, actually. But the bull and bear trending tool on Bitcoin usually works out very, very well. It's fantastic most of the time, to be honest. The other thing here is that there is a bearish 6-month stop hunt, as we know. To me, it does look like, you know, that we probably can drop back down into this area here. I would suggest that that's a real possibility. Is it the yellow 9 EMA level right here, and it's kind of in this wick as well. At this point, I see no reason that this would not drop back down. The other thing is, if you look at it there, you can see it's all through here. It's all through here, and it also is filling some of the space, right? The space here. This space here, this space there, just to me looks like it probably should fill. It doesn't always need to fill right now. Later it could fill. Like sometimes what happens is it does this, and then you get the drop there, and then you move up. But I do think because we're in a red 6-month candle, I think bounces here are probably going to be shorts to go lower down into this area. So it is a little bit of a patience game, a bit of a waiting game. Now the thing is that the way it's been playing out is that altcoins have been sporadically pumping, even though Bitcoin is Bitcoin's in a bear trend here. It's probably due a green 2-week candle, I would suggest. But so I know everybody's looking about accumulating altcoins. Well, the thing is, yes, the market is not fully bottomed yet, but the altcoins are sporadically pumping off the lows because they're extremely oversold. I see 4 zeros. Is BNB in trouble here? It is in trouble. It's definitely not fantastic anyway. Whatever way you look at it, it's not great. This was actually a beautiful pattern here, and no strength whatsoever. At one point I thought there might be a little bit upside, but you can see it's just coiling up there, and then we get that flush, which is very normal. Nothing out of the ordinary. I know it looks a bit scary because of what happened in FTX, so everybody's expecting the same thing, but that does not have to happen. BNB was overbought. There's no question about it. Like look at this move here. It's crazy. So there's getting pullbacks down here, and even back to what is that there? Well, even back to $100. Where's $100 there? And here, that's still okay. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Even back to there is a natural probably retrace because the move was so crazy. There's a lot of FUD. There's a lot of FUD about Binance. All over the world they were fighting Binance and trying to close them out of countries and everything else, and a lot of talk of Binance being in trouble or whatever. I suppose they are a little bit in trouble. They're getting suppressed, if you want to call it that. So that's never good. I mean, I do think Binance will be fine. I think they'll be okay. It just looks like they're going to lose some market share and continue to do business. And how bad is this if it's going to drop? I mean, I don't think it's going to be a FTX part 2. I don't think it's going to be a FTX 2 or anything. I think Binance are in better shape. I mean, I don't think that they're gambling customer money and all of that. And I think as long as they have one-to-one backing of all the customers' money, then everything should be okay. Everything should be fine. No matter how low this goes, even if it does drop down to whatever, 0, for example, even if it does, it's not going to go to 0, I don't think. But I mean, the most important factor, it's not the fact that BNB is dropping here and it could flush, even if it does flush to $50, for example. That's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that they're not commingling funds or they're not gambling customer money. And as long as they are backed one-to-one, everything should be fine. I know we don't really know that 100%. It's obviously a little bit, concerning. But at this point, you have to think that Binance are going to come through it. I think, people hate on CZ and all that, and maybe it's fair sometimes. But at the end of the day, I think it's pretty good. I think he's running Binance, and Binance is a business. It's a trading business at the end of the day. So you kind of expect some of that. The way they play it, the way any exchange plays the market. But I'm just saying that I think there could be somebody worse than that. Sam Bankman-Fried is obviously way worse. I think CZ is a lot better. So although there's serious pressure on Binance at the moment, I'm thinking that they will be okay. For crypto as a whole, I think the crypto industry kind of needs Binance at the moment. It's still developing. ETH here as well. It's there is a giant pressure cooker developing. You know, a pressure cooker is actually a bearish pattern until you recapture the white 100. See here, and see, well, wherever this recaptures it, that's when it flips bullish. But technically it's bearish until proven, until the price gets above the white 100. So you know, even a flush down here is okay. It's probably pretty natural, to be honest. If we do get a flush down there, it probably is likely that we do flush at some point. Let's see the 6-month chart here. You know, to be honest, when you look at this, it's not that bad. In theory, at least, you know, you're still holding above the yellow 9 EMA here. There's nothing stopping this from doing this on a new year, right? On a new year, this is probably a likely scenario to push higher. So it's probably just a matter of time. But at the moment, we're having a red 6-month candle. I think personally, I think dips below the yellow 9 EMA here would be great buys. A bit of a wick here already. I don't really see the need to be FOMOing in yet or anything. But if I'm correct, and this is going to pop up and move up higher on a new 6-month candle, you know, the market overall shouldn't be doing too badly. At the moment, of course, after the last flush recently, you know, on the 2-week, on the monthly, on the 3-month, you know, we're all having these red candles and drop back down. So these are unlikely to be flipping green this month. Well, that's a monthly chart there. There's 10 days left, you know, so that's okay. It just needs a little bit of patience. I would say that we bounce. I think, you know, personally, I think we're probably likely coming back up into here. Let me move this so there's no confusion. Like I would suggest that we are getting ready for a bounce back up into here, you know, before going lower. Filling more of this wick. We filled this wick here recently, actually. That's interesting. But yeah, I still think bounces here are shorts to go lower at this point.